College football fans and media talking heads from around the country have talked incessantly about how the new Big 12 will barely be able to maintain their Power 5 status because of the financial hit they'll take when Texas and Oklahoma leave, as well as the talent hit the conference will take when they leave. Well, now the financial hit I can't argue with. That's going to happen. It's inevitable. Texas is one of the largest markets in the country, one of the richest programs in the country. The purpose of this video, I wanted to take a look at the talent piece. Will the new Big 12 take a huge hit in talent on the football field once these two schools leave? Because they have historically recruited the most 4- and 5-star athletes. And I thought the perfect way to do this was to look at the NFL draft, because that is a good gauge of the level of talent these schools are producing. And it was well reported, well documented, that the Big 12, the current Big 12, put 0 players in the first round of the NFL draft in both 2021 and in 2022. That was a hot topic of discussion. But I decided to take a look at not only the first round of the draft, but also the entire draft as a whole, because keep in mind there's 7 rounds. And just because you don't put someone in the first round doesn't mean you're not putting guys in the NFL. So let's look at the entire draft as a whole. Okay? And then I'll let you tell me your opinion once you hear the numbers. You tell me in the comments, do you think the new Big 12 will take a step back from a talent perspective and will put less guys in the NFL, or do you think they'll hold their own or potentially even get better? So let's go over the numbers. First of all, even though the current Big 12 didn't put any players in the first round of the draft, the new Big 12 did. Cincinnati actually had a first-round draft pick in Ahmad Sauce Gardner, the defensive back. So the new Big 12 would have had someone taken in the first round of the draft. Look at 2021. They would have had 2 players. Zach Wilson was actually the number 2 pick in the draft. He was a quarterback from BYU. And then Houston also had a player taken in the first round of the 2021 draft. So the new Big 12 would have had 2 first-round draft picks in 2021 and 1 in 2022. Now, that's not a huge amount, but to be honest, the Pac-12 and ACC aren't putting that many guys in the first round either. It's mostly the SEC and the Big Ten that are doing that, especially the SEC. So, but let's look beyond just the first round. Let's look at the entire draft as a whole, okay? First of all, the Big 12 holds its own in this category. With only 10 teams, they're putting as many guys in the draft as the ACC and Pac-12 for the most part. So let's look at the overall draft numbers. For 2022, the SEC put 53 players into the NFL. Big Ten put 48 players in the NFL. Well, after that, there was a major drop-off. The Pac-12 and Big 12 both put 25 players into the NFL in this year's draft. Now, keep in mind, the Big 12 has 2 less teams than the Pac-12. The Big 12 only has 10 teams. So they're actually putting more players in per team than what the Pac-12 did. Now, the ACC, even further behind, they only put 21 players into the NFL in 2022. And, heck, they've got 14 teams. So they did even worse in 2022 as far as overall number of draft picks. Ironically, at the American Conference, I'm talking current Big 12, not new Big 12 right now, but the current American Conference is constituted, put 19 players in the NFL draft. Now, the caveat to that is 13 of those 19 were from Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF. Cincinnati alone put 9 players into the NFL draft this year, including Ahmad Gardner. So Cincinnati did really, really well. They were actually one of the top programs in the nation as far as the number of players they put in the NFL in this 2022 draft. So that right there goes to show you the hit that the American Conference is going to take when these 3 schools leave that conference. They're taking the talent with them for the most part. Now, in 2021, the SEC put 65 players in the NFL draft. They dominated. Second in line was the Big Ten with 44. Right behind them actually was the ACC with 42. The ACC did really well in 2021 in putting players in the NFL. Right behind them was the Pac-12 with 28, and then the Big 12 brought up the rear as far as the Power 5s with 25. And then the American once again had 19 in 2021 as well. There again, 12 of the 19 were from Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF. Now, let's look at the new Big 12. Take Texas and Oklahoma out of the equation. Replace them with Cincinnati, Houston, UCF, and BYU, who's an independent. In 2022, The new Big 12 would have put 32 players into the NFL draft total. That's an increase of 7 players. Now, yes, there would be 2 more teams in because you're removing 2, replacing them with 4. But we'd still have 12 teams, which is equivalent to the Pac-12, and would have had 7 more draft picks. All right, let's look at 2021. The new Big 12 would have had 29 draft picks. Still would have beaten the Pac-12. Would have beaten the ACC in 2021, but would have come in 4th place among Power 5 conferences in number of players put into the NFL. So when you look at these numbers, I just don't see how the new Big 12 is going to take a step back as far as talent level and putting guys in the NFL. Now, they might not be recruiting as many 4- and 5-star players, but I think they're doing a really good job overall of developing these players, especially when you look at guys like Luke Fickell at Cincinnati, the job he's doing. They recruit typically in the 40s and 50s nationally, yet he puts these 3-star guys into the NFL. He's developing talent at a high level. Houston is doing a pretty good job of developing players. They put 3 in the NFL this season. I expect that number will go up in 2023. So, UCF, BYU are both on the rise. So I look for the new Big 12 to continue to put about 30 to 35 guys into the NFL year in, year out. And that could even improve. Once Cincinnati, Houston, UCF, and BYU start making this Big 12 TV money here in a few years, they will likely start recruiting better, more 4- and 5-star guys, potentially, which will translate probably into more guys going into the NFL. Now, we know that's not a guarantee because Texas is getting 4- and 5-star guys, and they had 0 players taken in the 2022 draft. Texas now. Now, I can't say much because my team, the West Virginia Mountaineers, didn't get any guys in the draft either, but we don't recruit top 10 classes year in and year out. As long as the coaching remains consistent and good in the Big 12, which I think it will, I think they will continue to put guys in the NFL at about the same pace they're doing it now, even with losing Oklahoma and Texas. And look, I know they're going to have 2 extra teams in there, so I know that counts. But still, at the end of the day, we're not going to take a back seat. The Big 12 is not going to take a back seat to the Pac-12 or ACC when it comes to developing talent, because we're going to have the same amount of teams as them, and we're still going to be putting the same amount of guys into the league, in my opinion, as a Big 12 conference. Well, let me know, guys, what you think in the comment section. Please go check out the links in the description box. If you like online betting or online gambling, there's a link in the description box to BetUS. If you use that link and promo code JOIN125, you will get 125% bonus on your first bet. It will also help out my channel. If you want to buy your sports apparel, you can go to Fanatics or Amazon link. Do your online shopping there. You do not have to buy the product shown. All it does is get you into the site, and it will not change your shopping experience one bit. It will not cost you any more money. But you'll be shopping for the stuff you're going to buy anyway, and also helping out my channel at the same time. So check out those links, please. And if you don't want to do any of that, but yet you still want to support me, all you have to do, hit that red subscribe button, guys. It's absolutely free. Give me the thumbs up if you like this video, and also, please, share this out with all of your college sports loving friends, because if you like this video, there's a good chance they might too. I appreciate you tuning in, and with that, I'm signing off. Q Country Roads.